money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Net hustling. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Dame Dash has been online for quite some time, being extremely judgmental. We cover quite a bit of his commentary. I don't know how to put it in any type of percentage, but he has, I can't say I've heard him speak about personal issues, but I do recall an infamous moment of him being, I believe it was at the Breakfast Club. I could be mistaken, but I believe he said it even multiple times, how him teaching his kids to be anything other than bosses versus employees is like basically ludicrous. It's boss concept. And I remember hearing the story about his daughter being evicted some time back. I'm not sure if we reacted to it. I believe we may have. But Dame Dash's popularity has risen in recent months with him being on the Art of Dialogue, Vlad TV, and platforms such as that. And it's come back up, story about his daughter, and with him talking about so many boss moves, how embarrassed he would be for his child to be considered anything other than a boss, when I'm proud of each of my children who have secured employment, as well as my children who have sparked endeavors in the entrepreneurial world. I'm proud equally of them both. I'm a father of quite a few. I have representation from both. However, Dame Dash made it quite clear he didn't respect a working child. That was beneath him. But his daughters had some problems, and we finna just tap in and see the extent or what it actually does do or did with his kid.
Dame Dash. So Dame Dash's daughter, Ava Dash, you know, she's on that Next Gen New York City show with Riley Burrs, who's the daughter of Candy Burrs.
Yep.
And on the show a few weeks ago, she decided to address the eviction conversation that we had with Dame Dash here. Let's take a listen to Ava Dash.
I have so much negativity being spread about myself and my family. When you search my name, the first thing that pops up is Ava Dash evicted. I don't need my friends also adding to that. The reality is I had an apartment. I shared it with my dad, split the rent. I was on time paying my rent. My dad, not so much.
I know Kanye, he had a show over the weekend where he sold.
If any of my children, my daughters in particular, hear this, y'all see that? He had his daughter splitting the rent. Wow, I just could not imagine all that talk he was talking. I watch mine get it, stack it, save it. They can hold on to it. I don't want it.
Oh, like 60K people showed up. And I think it was in Albania.
Adult as a man, you have to have a roof over your head, period, point blank. Now, if my child needs that roof at any given time, it's at no charge. This is something that I have to maintain for myself as a man. Then as a father for 3 decades, just keeping it clean. How are you gonna, I don't know, different strokes, different folks.
You heard about that?
Well, what you have to understand is, to me, just based on being a businessman, the people that do these 60,000 sellout shows all day long, it's their normal. It's not a big deal. But when this dude does anything, it's so contrived, just like Beyonce cutting his hair in the stadium and, you know, her reading off a cue card while she's, you know, cutting his wig off. It just seems like a script. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do the family thing on her set, but I'm not bringing my daughter to Rockefeller set. We're going to have guns and bulletproof vests. I don't want I'm not no disrespect, but I don't want my daughter in a do-rag. I kept my daughter out the hood for a reason.
Which is interesting because just today,
I can relate to that statement. I recall, was it today or yesterday, having a conversation with somebody, and I can recall it was a time when my sons that are now 18 and 19 that live in the same house all their life, got the same mama. They was about 7 or 8, and I believe they stayed like in 8-9 hood, borderline Watts, 8-9 hood, Compton Avenue, and their mother working in the South Bay area and then having to go home toward like the East Side 80s would make it her business to slide through on 98 or call me or whatever and let my boys jump out and run through the field and come see me after work. Bro, I've seen kids grow up in that field. That happened a few times. The homies happy to see my boys, my sons. I stopped hanging out. So almost 20 years, I stopped hanging out to a large degree almost 20 years ago because Junior is 19. Almost 15, 20 years ago, because I didn't want my kids getting comfortable and accustomed to jumping out in the set and being familiar with that environment.
Spoke out about a situation concerning Dame herself and the Rent Man.
Dame Dash. So Dame Dash's daughter, Ava Dash, you know, she's on that Next Gen New York City show with Riley Burrs, who's the daughter of Candy Burrs.
Yep.
And on the show a few weeks ago, she decided to address the eviction conversation that we had with Dame Dash here. Let's take a listen to Ava Dash.
I have so much negativity being spread about myself and my family. When you search my name, the first thing that pops up is Ava Dash evicted. I don't need my friends also adding to that. The reality is I had an apartment. I shared it with my dad, split the rent. I was on time paying my rent. My dad, not so much. I don't need to like release a statement and say, hey guys, I wasn't the one that made us get this eviction notice.
Yeah, so that was her in a confessional on the show. Now, I've seen other.
So we don't know if this is true. We don't have any proof whatsoever. In my opinion, when you look at Dame's jacket, does it look like an eviction jacket? He looked like he grabbed it in an eviction. Come on, man, this is Dame Dash.
Bro, to even be insinuating, assuming that young lady is not being a Google % honest and authentic is ludicrous.
This is dude that notoriously never wore the same pair of sneakers twice.
I don't need my friends also adding to that. The reality is I had an apartment. I shared it with my dad, split the rent. I was on time paying my rent. My dad, not so much. I don't need to like release a statement and say, hey guys, I wasn't the one that made us get this eviction notice.
Yeah, so that was her in a confessional on the show. Now, I've seen other interviews that she's done on this where she said that like she decided to address it because like, it's there. There's no way that she can get around it. And she had let her dad know that she was going to be doing it. So she let Dame Dash know she was going to be addressing it. But that
splitting rent with my dad, but my dad.
Now, if she spoke to Dame Dash about it and he wasn't tripping, I mean, who could trip?
Dad ain't paying his end of it.
He a boss. So he says she could be lying. We don't know. These are allegations. But I'm just saying, in comparison to the old Dame Dash that we know, this new guy looks more likely to not have his portion of the rent. That's all I'm saying.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was an apartment that she was living in Tribeca. It was like close to $10,000 a month.
It was $10,000
Yeah, they
a
were
month,
like.
Dame has been doing a lot of interviews. How much you want to bet that his interviews, as of today, Friday, July 17th, soon to be July 18th.
This dude, Dark Mark, looked like the homie Boss Mac by the Linwood Boss Mac podcast. Boss Mac.
How much do you want to bet that Damon Dash's interviews will continuously get more and more outlandish? Because he need it. I'm telling you, he need it. He's struggling.
And that is the culture of internet popularity. Look at 607 and others. That's crazy he said that because he basically took the words out of my mouth.
Allegedly struggling. I know I got on the same jacket Dame Dash wearing, but you already know.
Like at least $40,000 behind when the landlord went to a court and got a notice. Now Dame Dash.
What does she do for a living as far as Dame Dash's daughter, to where she had her half of the 10 and he didn't have his? What does she do for a living? I'm curious.
talked about it here when he was on the Breakfast Club. Let's take a listen. The thing with your daughter and the eviction.
She never got evicted.
So why did the son report that? What?
She lying.
The thing with your daughter and the eviction.
She never got evicted.
So why did the son report that? Where does that stem from?
So what happened was she was sending the money to someone to send the money, and it wasn't going, and she didn't know it. She was out of town.
What the
so
hell?
I think they were gonna when she found.
Oh my God! No way!
A father, a real father. Your daughter got out here and misspoke, and you figured all this out, and your daughter hasn't come out and clarified. If you gonna respond to that, you say she was mistaken or that wasn't true. Now you finna put it all on her, saying she was sending it. It's bullshit, bro. Just think, he talks about Jay-Z like this, bro. Come on, man. Jay-Z character is so terrible. But it's the same character he possessed when they was bosom buddies, and he was benefiting off selling it to the world.
Found out she just paid it. So it got paid. So she never got evicted ever in life. Ever. Never. That's another one of those false things that they say. Like, somebody might see something, but it doesn't follow through. She never got evicted. What they should have said was she at that age lived in a 3-bedroom house and apartment in Tribeca. At, you know, like a rich kid, like a nepo.
Nah, that's not nepotism when she had to pay half, bro. No. Nepotism is, I remember at one point Michael Jordan's son was 19 years old, and he made headlines for being in a Las Vegas casino and losing something like $50,000 in less than 30 minutes. And the appalling, shocking part about the story was everybody was like, oh, the biggest thing was the amount of money he lost that he has never earned a dime of a day in his life. That wasn't the big part. The big part was he was only 19 and it had no business being in the casino gambling. That's nepotism. Ronnie in the NBA, that's nepotism. And that is how Dame Dash has tried to market himself amongst us in our culture.
Baby, because her mother has $100 million company, Rachel Roy, which I started, put my $8 million in, and now she owns it.
So she never got evicted. They got evicted.
No,
together,
that what happened. What happened was they received the notice. The notice that they received was, if you do not vacate the location listed above within 14 days after the date of this notice, you may be evicted without further notice. And when they one of the first,
well, to Dame Dash's defense, to a rich, privileged kid, that's being evicted. That's the closest they probably ever gonna get. And she felt evicted. Oh, blah, 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 blah. She felt like she was close to the struggle off that one letter. Oh, blah, 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 blah. That kind of does lend it back to his point.
seasons or first episodes of the season, they teased this eviction letter, but you couldn't see all the names. So people thought that this was going to be a storyline, and eventually it became one. They paid the money up before she was evicted. So technically, she didn't get evicted. She received the notice, though. They caught the money.
All this over. Notice the ones they put on the apartment doors beginning of the month. Everybody got one of them. That's how you know how good your neighborhood is.
Nah, see, I'm gonna leave it at that. If y'all want to go over to Dark Mark channel and see the rest of his coverage on this, seems like he got quite a bit more to go. I'm gonna let you have that opportunity with him. Yeah, I think that's a good place to kind of sum it up. If that's your coldest financial struggle, yeah, your daddy did do his good one too. But still think it's ironic that y'all was going half, unless it was a situation where you would have been, yeah, I ain't gonna knock him on that either. Oh, my mama.
Get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this is the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Hey, Net Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.